Well, good weekend. I'm Epstein with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up, and what a week this was for this weekend of Friday, December 15th, 2023. First thing, I know a lot of you, it's now the end of Hanukkah, it's the beginning of the Christmas week. Let me wish you all happy holidays. I will be with you through the holidays. I took my vacation, so I'll be here. I might take off a day or two, right around Christmas, but I'll be here in Chicago, and we'll be doing things with that. I must tell you, I'm worn out. This was quite a week. Good trading week, so I'm very, very happy with all that. And that is the issue that you have to deal with. Now, I did a special report that before we get into all the charts, and this is your weekly edition, we'll look at the weeklies, I want to remind you, one of the markets that's going to be impacted in a huge manner is this, the dollar index. So what I did is I created a report for you, and this is my last report of 2023. These are videos. It is about 12, 13 minutes long. I cover all the seasonal charts. Now, when I say all, 30, 15, and 5-year, and very important you look at the 5. I talk about the world events that are affecting things. Then I bring you into the charts. Now, when I say time sensitive, I'm looking first at the weeklies, then I'm going to go to the dailies for you and give you my idea of what the dollar's about to do. And it's important because we're getting that pivot by the Federal Reserve. There'll be arguments, is it March, is it May, who cares? The pivot is coming. And the market won't wait for the pivot, it will move ahead of it. That's how these things work. So what we're looking at is we're coming to the end of this fabulous rate hike, tightening, everything you want to call it. I'm going to cover, by the way, in a moment, Redfin for you. So we'll talk about the impact it had on a real estate stock and what I see there as well. So you take a look at all this, you try to come together with it, and you get yourself a game plan. My reports are not history lessons. They're up for 3 business days, and then I take them off. So you've got the weekend to look at it. Go to iraepstein.com. You can move your cursor right up here as well. There'll be an icon to take you there. Enjoy the report. As I said, I think it's going to be an important one for you. Okay. So, as I said, one of the things that I want to cover is Redfin, and I'll get to that in a minute with you. But how'd the market as a whole do? Well, you're up quite a bit in the stock indices. You got to be a little careful. Nothing grows to the sky. Please remember that. I know you won't believe me. You'll say this at the beginning, it's going to go. Nothing grows, and I'm the bull. I'm the guy that said in September, a weak October, a strong November, first part of December, consolidation. Now you're a little ahead of yourself, and no. The Santa Claus rally, this is not by Yale Hirsch's standard from the Stock Trader Almanac, who named it and who found this event. That's yet to come. And then you'll say, what the heck? How much higher can it go? Well, I'm just telling you where you're at. I like Tesla. Now, people have asked me why. I keep getting this asked over and over. The reason I like Tesla so much is this electronic car part was proven in a major way. They're doing a 2 million car recall. You own a car, I own a car, I used to get a postcard, and it would tell me on the postcard, got to bring your car in for a recall, you got to call up the dealership, you take it in, I don't have the part. I went through this with Cadillac to the point I wanted to sue them. It was just such bad service. Probably the worst service I've ever had, and I am a guy that has owned everything probably in cars. I mean, name a sports car, many exotics. Started off with, remember that little Isetta, that 3-wheeler? Went to Healy's, Ferraris. I can tell you, I've had all the toys, and I still drive some fun cars. But I went through all that. Owning an electric car, which I don't own, but my friends do. They get a recall. It comes in on the dashboard. They push a button. It does whatever it's going to do overnight. That's how they tell me. And it's done. So is a 2 million recall really a big deal? Not the way and the expense it is for Ford, GM, and Stellantis. That's the issue. Rivian. So why did Rivian take off to $22, $23? You know why, I hope. This is a stock I told you I fell in love with. Much lower. I went out, used to knock on the door of the Amazon guys. How do you like the truck? What is it like? And I'm talking the deliveries, because that is what got me. If they could corner that part of the market or get a big chunk of it, they got something. Well, AT&T announced this week that they were going to give them fleet business. Kicked the stock right on up, and that's what did it there. Another market of interest could be copper. You got to start looking at if the whole world is going to go, bear this out, the pivot away from high interest rates. Copper is going to come alive on that because it eventually feeds in that as rates fall down, building goes on, infrastructure goes on, different things are going to happen there. You want to keep your eye on the foreign currency markets between UUP and FXE. I've already covered that. NVIDIA, it was just down to a Bollinger Band at 458, and I was telling clients, you got to trade this one different than you do anything else because it's the darling of AI, and when everybody's dumping against Bollinger Bands instead of just coming out of shorts, it's the only one that I would tell a client, you buy against it, you close your eyes. You heard me say that here. You go like this, I'm lighting candles because it's an investment. I think it's going to be $600, $700 or higher. That's what people are doing in stocks like that. Microsoft, they're getting beat up. Why did Microsoft get beat up? I know today's up, but it hasn't participated in this rally. You do know why. Once Fed chair pivoted, everybody wants to be in to everything else. The Magnificent Seven, take some money out of that. It's year end. Put it into other things that you think are going to come alive. And that brings me to one that might be something like that. Redfin. Redfin got the living heck beat out of it. This was a $60 plus stock. You're talking $9. I've seen people, Wedbush and others were calling for this. I believe they're in October, $4.50. I've seen $7 by some firms. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. You got down to the $5 mark. You did it already. You've washed this out. This is down because of that court ruling. In large part, this is down because of that. We're now... It's questionable when you go to a broker to sell your home. Why are you paying both the buyer and the seller commission? If you're the seller, why are you paying that buyer commission? Let me explain. When they end up splitting it up, Redfin's going to represent buyers and sellers. So they're just splitting it as to how it goes. The money's going to be paid in two different ways. I don't know why people are losing sight of that. But they have, and they broke all these down. The other reason that the real estate people got killed was 8% mortgages. Come on. But now that you're at a pivot point, is 8 probably the peak? Does the market go down and start cracking down towards 6.5%? Most likely over time. And that's going to be the new norm for a while, I think. Could it go lower? Everything overshoots up and down. You know that, but that's one of the things. So I looked at this stock and I said, it's got the living heck beat out of it. The worst call I saw, the worst being, not that it wasn't a good call on the downside, by the way, it was. The worst price point I saw was about $4.50, $5. Well, you were just there. So I said, let's take a look at it and just do the eyeball. The swing line is up, higher lows, higher highs. That part of the chart is bullish. The market went to a battleground, and we should take a look at this. Came up here, fighting the battle. Right, got into the 18-week average, hung there for a little bit, and suddenly the market is taking off to the upside. It's at the next resistance point, the 100-week. So until you take out these lows again, two things have happened. The trend is up, the bias is up, and you've come back to challenge a long-term moving average where you generally stop for a bit. Could it go through it? Of course it could go through it. Do I think it's going right to 29.67? I don't think that's going to happen. So that's the first resistance. The next resistance point would be the Bollinger Band, and lo and behold, the two are there. So I think what the market has done is made its low. It's come up for the first challenge. You probably see the profit taking come in, and the naysayers will go, that's the bounce. It's finally there. It could be more than that long term, and your momentum is up and overbought. So you're overbought. You've hit your upside targets. I would be telling traders, out you go. But the next round of the decline gets very interesting because these numbers will keep falling, and can you get over them and do something else? Microsoft, Why is the stock just drifting here? I just answered it for you. What the market is doing, number one, there's nothing wrong with Microsoft. It's a cash machine, in my opinion. AI business, all the things they're doing, going to go. This will be a year where they can monetize even more. Who doesn't want to use all their products and then all of a sudden get the AI benefits with it? I will. So higher lows, higher highs, are you going to embed? It takes, if you understand the slow stochastics, it takes 3 weeks where the numbers are over 80 to embed. Week 1, 2 was last week. You need another week. May not get it. Wouldn't surprise me if the markets want to do a little bit of profit taking going into Christmas. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And then right after Christmas, we come back and the market gives you that year-end rally. That's what I'm looking for. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right. KRE, I'd be very careful if I'm you, and you're still holding this, and you should be. This is the zone to be careful. Your first move over the Bollinger Band, you're on borrowed time. This market is going to find a way to get back in that Bollinger Band. And if these numbers weren't here, I'd say maybe it's a breakout and you're just going to run. But because the 100-day and the 200 are there, I think profit taking is going to show up. And no, don't say, Ira, you're bearish. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you've had a move out here. You're probably, with being overbought and hitting those averages, going to see a round of profit taking. Then we come to China. And I looked at what China has done, and they've done nothing. They are throwing big money into their banks to buy stabilized state banks so they can buy certain bonds. But what are they doing with the money? I'm still lost. I don't think we're going to get an answer on their economy till March. That is when they set how they're going to do what they do. They just had the Politburo this month. They just had the Economic Council. They talk in large generalities. And that's all they did at this meeting. They didn't say how they'd support anything, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. And the market will be pins and needles until then. I don't like what I see out of China right here. I know people are saying, well, they might be coming back to life. Show me what they're doing and I'll buy into that. In XLI, the industrial sector, what a run. Even today, did you look at the Empire State numbers, okay, the production numbers? They're a disaster, friends. The business there, the manufacturing, is a disaster. Today's numbers, off the wall bad. It doesn't matter. The market is saying that we are through a cycle. And now with that cycle and money about to start coming back down, full employment, and we are at full employment, and the Fed will have battles. Did anybody pay attention to the New York Fed President Williams today? He absolutely backtracked everything. Didn't stand up for what Fed Chair Powell had said just 2 days ago. No, we're not discussing that yet. It's something for discussion. No, I don't know that we're ready to let go. We may have to go up again. This battle's not over. The money market, we're in a good place right now in our policy. All right. So some cracks showing, and he is a big wig. He always votes because the New York Fed is a permanent voting member, and they are the biggest central bank. They are the biggest bank within the central bank. Got to pay attention. And there's definite pushback there. But it's interesting how this went straight up. Nothing grows to the sky. From my point of view, this market's at a point where it's now ready for, I think profit takers are going to show up. On the energy sector, okay, I'm still not there. The market acts like it wants to bounce a little bit, but you've got too many problems still. I look at the IEA, the International Energy Agency, came out, and they are at odds with what OPEC thinks for the first quarter. They still see the market out of balance with supply versus demand. The chart is bearish. This is the profit-taking area. I'm the first to say it. I want to be the first. You've hit the 100-day average in the lower Bollinger Band. I'm doing my charting course now. I was so much trying to get it done for Christmas, I'm not going to make it. And I'm not going to beat myself silly during this holiday. I took today off, in fact. I didn't want to do anymore. I'm burned out. I need to let my brain breathe a little bit. You know, I'm running a brokerage company, doing marketing, trading. There's all kinds of stuff going on in there for clients. I call trading being I'm putting out the advice for the clients. What are they doing? If I see something, I may step in. It goes back and forth. That's what you do. And right now, it's a lot of pressure. Plus, a wife, go out, get the Christmas tree, put it up. I don't want to do what she's telling me. You do it. I'm Jewish. Why am I doing the tree? All right. Lower high, lower low. I laugh at it. And you can see how the market's coming up here to 87.35. Okay, maybe. I don't see anything I like that much there. In the dollar, I've given you my story. I do not expect the dollar to be able to come back and take this out anytime soon. It will take an event that I don't see right now for that to happen. I think the market is getting cheap down here, oversold, but there's events. This is a huge outside week down. Do you know how to play outside days and outside weeks? We have a course on the website. Go under the word education, iraepstein.com. Go to that course. It explains this in great detail. GLD. Well, gold doesn't have the headwind. The gold market now has the theory, at least, the cheaper interest rates from us are coming. Yes, I know Europe hasn't jumped on board. They will. I'm going to repeat. Does it matter if it's March, May, June? Well, they'll be behind us a little bit, but it's coming. So once the pivot happens, what central bankers don't want to do is get the Volcker. You heard me. The Paul Volcker label, where you moved, you did it too soon, we got to go back and raise the rates. That adjustment is for a banker. Takes you out of the Hall of Fame. You're never getting back in. Everybody will talk about forever how you blew it. They won't blow it. They're going to all be very careful. And I'm already seeing other of the European Central Bank on the committees. They're going, no, we're going to be very deliberate and very data dependent. Now is just not the time. We're not going up in rates. We want to see this lock in, if you will. What is it, Mr. Vilroy? So we're seeing all that come through. Higher lows, higher highs. Trend is up. Are we going to embed? So here, both numbers are over 80. Were they last week is the big question. They were, and what about the week before? They were. So is it going to lose the embedded reading if it breaks down this week? It probably would. If the market's up this week, it locks it in. That was your little correction, and you're targeting again 191.89 as I see it. And whatever the product does, these will do. But would I ever tell you to buy into a Bollinger Band and a 200-day average? Slap me across the face if I do, because I'm just not going to. Okay, it's too powerful. Tesla. Now, if you don't take out this week's low, this is important. Your momentum's up, your bias up. If you don't take that out, you could target the 274 area before it's all said and done. Uber, I ran my specials on Uber for you. There's no way for me to even cover it when you do this. I told you how much I like their delivery service. They got it. They got their company together. They understand pricing. Their app is the best app out there. The cars, how they come to you, the people, it's phenomenal. Why they don't just absorb Lyft if the government would let them do it is beyond me. I mean, the two are not the same. DRI, higher lows, higher highs. So I'm hearing today that they're going, well, the restaurants, they're not doing the business. The consumer is going out, but he's not going to the high-end restaurants. That might be true. They own Capital Grille, but they own other lower-priced ones. That's why I like them. They can fail in one area or slow down in an area and see another area go. And the chart seems to like them a lot, too. Very much, though, I think that if you hit the 166.58, you got to be taking some money off the table. You know I'm liking Google, all right? But like Microsoft, these are not the place to be temporarily. The money's rotating out of them into things. You get a wish list that you might want to have for other parts, and that's what's going on. They'll fill this in. There you go. I knew that would. Magic, isn't it? All right, I want to remind you one last time here. Special currency report, dollar index. I think you'll like it. It's my last report of the year. I'm very aware that I didn't do a lot of webinars this last part of the year. I had personal reasons why I didn't want to do them. I'm just too busy, to be honest. They'll come on as I finish my charting course. I got to finish that. That's my number one goal. And the way I'm creating this charting course, I'll never have to redo it other than a few chapters to upgrade things. I'm making the charts timeless, and they're real charts, by the way, and the way I'm doing it, it's going to be explained in the chart. The legacy will be there. I'm Ira. If you have questions, call my staff. Move your cursor to the top or iraepstein.com, and you can get this. By the way, to get the view the special report, iraepstein.com under the word research on the top right. You take care.